Hello, everyone. Uta here again. Oh my goodness. A commenter mentioned my children's book, all about leaves. Hopefully, I'll figure out how to turn it around so you'll be able to read the cover. It is a children's science book that has all kinds of information about what leaves do. The leaves on ferns have something to do with reproduction because ferns don't have flowers and seeds. And then there's the oak tree in its dormant period, like it is now, with no leaves. And oaks are very important. Ooh, here's a great one. Some frozen water on a maple leaf. My mistake that I didn't realize, which was a style thing, was that I capitalized too many of the plants' names. And I fixed that when I went through the editing process for my memoir, In the Curated Woods, True Tales from a Grass Widow. Now, a repeat commenter who keeps on coming back in a different version of a West Coast lady, who I think is probably not born female based on the word salad that you keep on commenting, but that's just how you come off to me based on my experience with those kind of guys like Nettie. So I got told that you're going to put a review of my science book on Amazon, and it sounded kind of threatening, and it sounded very familiar to the way Nettie talks to people and is known, actually, to be derogatory, puts people down, to make himself seem better. He did that. It's a narcissist thing, and so, like I've said before, when I detect word salad narcissist content in a comment, I just remove it. Sometimes I hide you and you become a ghost in a closet. And so unfortunately, the science, so-called science, in cross-sex ideation ideology is originally sourced from psychologists who were known child sexual molesters. Alfred Kinsey, John Money, and Volkmar Sigusch. Volkmar Sigusch is the one who invented the word cis, C-I-S. I don't call it a word. I do not let anybody call me a cis anything. I am a mother, I am a daughter, I am a sister, I am a woman, but I'm not cis anything. So the thing is, the book reviews. If somebody goes on a place like Amazon and puts a book review about my Leo Utsura, All About Leaves science book, and you make some comment about how you found out about me and I'm such a terrible bigot and a TERF, and you should know that she's also Uta Hagen, and she, is a terrible writer and stuff like that. Probably half of the people who read that will be motivated to buy my book. So, as they say in Yiddish, sei gesinte hay. So, I did save some leaves. I've been kind of showing artifacts. There are the veins, and this is where the energy from the sun is taken in, solar energy. It's like a solar panel. And then it goes up in the form of chlorophyll, a sugar, into the main part of the plant, which grows the roots down and grows the top of the plant, whether it's a tree or a herbaceous plant, then grows taller vertically or wider. And pine needles are leaves. And there are really, really important things that I would love to be teaching about. In fact, sometimes I think I would much rather be looking for welcoming homeschooling groups, which would probably be the religious ones, who might want to learn science from Leah Utsura. And yeah, but there's this whole math that I did. That's another thing that I taught really well. I raised the math scores of one of the schools I taught at. My days of girlhood, based on 30 years a trans widow, is 10,950. And so when my ex Nettie was getting his inner days of his inner Dylan, I was beginning my new life too. And so I must be in my 30s and not in my 60s. And if you can be anything you want, then that must be true. And maybe I'll be able to live, I don't know, 135 years or something, because now I'm only 30 something. Yeah. So you could call this a reaction video. But there's a lot going on in the news. Both Switzerland and Norway have passed parliamentary laws that there is no such thing legally for them as non-binary. And that's good, because when someone has a psychiatric illness, as defined by Dr. Stephen B. Levine, a psychiatrist who decided he can no longer be affirming because too many of his former patients were coming to him saying they had detransitioned even 30 years later. Stephen B. Levine. His paper was called Informed Consent Reconsidered. That's real science. There's a website, not a website, a channel called Thoughts on Things and Stuff, which now has the English translation of the Swedish movie Trans Train. And the Swedes are really starting to reconsider all of this. There are too many of these girls who transferred some kind of anorexia or other psychiatric illness into the sexual OCD business of body dysmorphia involving something about your sexed body, which is understandable, because, especially for girls, because it is a big change to suddenly get a menstrual period, and you're still young. You know, you're not ready for sex. You certainly shouldn't be talking to people like my commenter at the other end of a computer screen on Reddit or Tumblr or that type of thing. And I, can't say that I know that, but I'm a bit suspicious. And that's another reason that commenters like you get removed and get hidden. That's all. Do start getting outside. It's good to take a walk, good to clear your mind. Don't think about whether you're male or female. Think about your beating heart. Think about your bones. Think about whether you're going to see a bird. Think about doing some abs exercises and feeling this really sexually neutral part of your body, your stomach. Get in touch with yourself and be well in mind and body.